Throughout his 30-year career, Siskel championed hundreds of movies. In this special countdown, we present 25 greatest movies of all time, according to Gene Siskel. These are the films Siskel praised most, drawn from his published Best of the Year lists and personal favorites. Let's begin. Number 25, Dumbo, 1941. This Walt Disney classic about a little circus elephant with big ears was Gene Siskel's favorite film from childhood. Dumbo follows the young elephant as he overcomes ridicule and learns to fly, inspired by a magic feather and the power of self-belief. The film's touching story and the lullaby, Baby Mine, still resonate with audiences. Dumbo was a box office success in the 1940s and won an Academy Award for its score. More importantly, Siskel often mentioned Dumbo as the first movie that influenced him, a movie that sparked his lifelong love of cinema. Documentary tone. In Siskel's own words, Dumbo opened my eyes to the power of movies. Its enduring message about embracing what makes you different clearly left an impression on the young Siskel. Number 24, Zed, 1969. Kicking off Siskel's career as a critic, Costa Gavras' Zed was the very first film he ever ranked as the year's best. This French-Algerian political thriller, based on true events in Greece, is a bold exposé of corruption and the fight for justice. It follows an investigator probing the assassination of an opposition leader amid a government cover-up. With its urgent storytelling and documentary-style realism, Zed grabbed audiences worldwide. It made history as one of the first foreign-language films nominated for the Best Picture Oscar, and it won the Academy Award for Best Foreign Film. Gene Siskel was electrified by Zed's courage and craft. In his review, he praised its fast-paced editing and political urgency, calling it a film that thrums with anger and energy. Zed's international success proved that a subtitled film could be as gripping as any Hollywood thriller. Number 23, Day for Night, 1973. François Truffaut's charming French film about filmmaking itself was Siskel's top pick of 1974. Day for Night is a love letter to the movie-making process, following a director and his crew as they struggle to complete a film amid on-set dramas and personal entanglements. The title refers to a technique of filming night scenes in daylight with a filter, a bit of insider lingo that reflects the movie's affectionate, behind-the-curtain look at cinema. Critics and cinephiles adore Day for Night. It won the Best Foreign Language Film Oscar in 1974. Siskel praised the film's playful yet realistic portrayal of the controlled chaos of shooting a movie, noting how Truffaut captures the circus-like camaraderie and heartbreak that happen on set. Notable quote, "I'd drop the film if I knew what it was about," jokes one character. A wink at the unpredictable art of creation. Number 22, Straight Time, 1978. Siskel had a knack for spotlighting underrated gems, and Straight Time is one of them. This 1978 crime drama, starring Dustin Hoffman as an ex-con trying to go straight, was Gene Siskel's pick for the best film of 1978, even though it flew under the radar for many. The story follows Max Dembo struggling with a dehumanizing parole system that inexorably pulls him back into Los Angeles' criminal underworld. Supported by a stellar cast, Hoffman gives a brilliant and dexterous performance. Siskel's endorsement helped Straight Time gain belated recognition as a 70s classic. "It's one of the only movies in memory where I was rooting for the criminal," Siskel admitted, commending the film's gritty realism and moral complexity. The film wasn't a box office hit, but it has since earned critical praise as a forgotten masterpiece. Number 21, Babe, Pig in the City, 1998. In a list full of heavy hitters, this whimsical family film might seem an odd choice, but Gene Siskel passionately defended George Miller's Babe, Pig in the City, as inventive, creative, clever, and great-looking, even naming it his #1 movie of 1998. A sequel to the beloved Babe, this film sends the plucky talking pig Babe into a surreal urban adventure to save his farm. Siskel insisted the choice is not a stunt. He genuinely felt this sequel qualifies for greatness because it expands our notion of what a film can be. Indeed, the movie's imaginative visuals and surprisingly dark, poignant moments earned it critical appreciation from some. However, Babe, Pig in the City, was a box office bomb. A gigantic flop that earned only around $20 million against a $60+ million budget. Siskel didn't mind. He reveled in championing an underdog. He praised director George Miller's visionary use of cinematography and special effects to create a modern fairy tale. Number 20. All the President's Men, 1976. In 1976, Siskel's top film of the year was this tense newsroom thriller reenacting the Watergate investigation. All the President's Men stars Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman as Washington Post, reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, doggedly uncovering the truth behind the Watergate break-in and the Nixon administration's cover-up. The film captures the meticulous, often tedious work of journalism and turns it into gripping drama. It was both a commercial and critical success, grossing over $70 million and earning 4 Oscars, including supporting actor for Jason Robards as editor Ben Bradley. Siskel praised All the President's Men for its edge-of-your-seat authenticity, noting how it made telephone calls and library research feel as thrilling as a car chase. He also admired the film's impact on popular trust in journalism. This movie inspired countless young people to pursue reporting. Number 19. One False Move, 1992. Another Siskel favorite that he helped thrust into the spotlight. One False Move is a 1992 neo-noir crime thriller that Gene Siskel named the best film of 1992. Co-written by and co-starring a then-unknown Billy Bob Thornton, this indie film follows a trio of criminals on the run from Los Angeles after a drug deal massacre, and an Arkansas small-town sheriff determined to catch them. The film's suspense builds not through big shootouts, but through character development and moral tension as destinies collide in a rural town. One False Move never had a wide theatrical release, but Siskel's early rave review alerted audiences to its quality. He praised the film's screenplay for its authentic Southern atmosphere and unexpected emotional depth, especially in Cinda Williams' performance as Fantasia. Though largely overlooked by the Oscars, the movie won several critics' awards and today is considered a classic of 1990s noir. Siskel often cited One False Move as proof that great filmmaking can come from anywhere, not just big studios. Number 18. Hearts of Darkness, A Filmmaker's Apocalypse, 1991. Gene Siskel had a deep appreciation for documentaries, and in 1991, he surprised many by naming this documentary the year's best film. Hearts of Darkness is an inside look at the tumultuous production of Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now. Using behind-the-scenes footage shot by Eleanor Coppola and new interviews, it reveals the near-disaster chaos, a typhoon wrecking sets, Martin Sheen's heart attack, Marlon Brando's creative eccentricities, that somehow resulted in a masterpiece. Siskel called Hearts of Darkness a mesmerizing portrait of genius on the brink. He was riveted by how this doc shows the thin line between visionary ambition and madness. The documentary itself earned critical acclaim, winning awards and several Emmy Awards after airing on cable. While not a box office film per se, it became essential viewing for cinephiles. Number 17. Hannah and Her Sisters, 1986. Siskel's favorite film of 1986 was this elegant ensemble dramedy by Woody Allen. Hannah and Her Sisters interweaves the lives of 3 sisters and their extended family over 2 eventful years in New York City. The film touches on love, infidelity, artistic angst, and even a comic brush with existential crisis. Gene Siskel admired the film's witty script and warm performances, calling it Allen's most mature and satisfying comedy. Audiences and critics agreed. It was Allen's biggest box office success at the time and won 3 Academy Awards. Siskel particularly loved how the story balances humor and poignancy, with moments like Weiss' character's giddy recital of an E. E. Cummings poem, and Allen's character rediscovering joy watching the Marx Brothers. Number 16. The Last Emperor, 1987. Epic in scope and sumptuous in design, Bernardo Bertolucci's The Last Emperor impressed Siskel so much that he chose it as the finest film of 1987. This sweeping biographical drama chronicles the life of Puyi, who became Emperor of China as a toddler and witnessed the tumultuous upheavals of the 20th century. From the forbidden grandeur of the imperial palace to war, captivity, and eventual obscurity. Filmed largely on location in Beijing's Forbidden City, The Last Emperor is a visual feast. It garnered unanimous critical acclaim and made Oscar history by winning all 9 of the Academy Awards for which it was nominated, including Best Picture. Siskel praised the film's ambitious narrative and Bertolucci's storytelling. It's not only a history lesson, it's emotionally engaging. We empathize with a ruler who had no control over his fate. The film's haunting score and cinematography also earned special mention. Though The Last Emperor had a modest U.S. box office, its accolades cemented its legacy. Number 15, Annie Hall, 1977. In 1977, Gene Siskel found himself charmed by Woody Allen's witty and innovative romantic comedy, Annie Hall. He ranked it as the number 1 film of that year, preferring it even over the era's blockbuster spectacles. Annie Hall follows the neurotic New York comedian Alvy Singer and his free-spirited girlfriend Annie Hall through the laughs and heartbreak of a modern relationship. What set the film apart was its playful breaking of the fourth wall and poignant observations on love and life. Siskel lauded the film's originality, from subtitled inner thoughts in a date scene to animated asides, and its genuine emotional core. The movie swept major awards, winning 4 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actress. It was also a box office hit, proving that smart comedies for adults could draw big crowds. Siskel often cited Annie Hall's influence on the romantic comedy genre in Allen's career. Number 14, The Last Temptation of Christ, 1988. Martin Scorsese's most controversial film was also Siskel's top choice of 1988. The Last Temptation of Christ dares to portray Jesus in a profoundly human light, exploring his doubts, temptations, and ultimate spiritual triumph. Siskel and Ebert both gave the film an impassioned defense amid a firestorm of protests from some religious groups in 1988. Siskel wrote that Defoe manages to draw out the humanity in Christ without denying the divinity, praising Scorsese's respectful yet daring approach. The film's release was met with picket lines and even bans in certain countries, but Siskel argued that Last Temptation was a towering achievement of personal filmmaking, one that took the essence of faith seriously. Though it received only a single Oscar nomination, its legacy endures as a bold piece of art. Number 13, The Right Stuff, 1983. The bravery of early test pilots and astronauts comes to life in Philip Kaufman's The Right Stuff, which Siskel honored as the best film of 1983. This grand American epic chronicles the post-war U.S. space program, from Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier to the Mercury 7 astronauts orbiting Earth. Running over 3 hours, the film artfully blends history, heroism, and humor. Siskel was thrilled by how The Right Stuff captured the spirit of adventure. "It's about daring to dream and risking everything to reach the stars," he said on At the Movies. Despite rapturous reviews, the film underperformed at the box office in 1983, but it won 4 Academy Awards and a Best Picture nomination. Siskel particularly praised the ensemble cast and the film's mixture of awe-inspiring flight scenes with down-to-earth, sometimes comedic portraits of the astronauts' personalities. Number 12, Once Upon a Time in America, 1984. Sergio Leone's epic crime saga of friendship, betrayal, and the passage of time left a deep impression on Gene Siskel. He selected it as 1984's best film, though American audiences initially didn't get to see the film's greatness. Once Upon a Time in America spans several decades in the lives of Jewish gangsters in New York, particularly focusing on Noodles and Max. With its nonlinear narrative and operatic 4-hour runtime, the film is a richly textured meditation on memory and regret. Siskel hailed it as Leone's masterpiece, a film of extraordinary ambition and emotion. However, when it was first released in the U.S., the studio chopped it down to a confusing 2-hour version, and it flopped at the box office. Siskel implored viewers to seek out the full cut, convinced of its brilliance. Over time, the uncut Once Upon a Time in America gained recognition as a classic, validating Siskel's early championing. Ennio Morricone's haunting score and Tonino Dellicolli's cinematography add to the film's dreamlike quality. Number 11, Fargo, 1996. In 1996, Siskel and Ebert both fell in love with Joel and Ethan Coen's quirky crime thriller, Fargo, and Gene Siskel named it the best film of that year. Set in the snow-covered upper Midwest, Fargo spins a darkly comic tale of a kidnapping scheme gone terribly wrong, and the earnest, pregnant police chief Marge Gunderson, who unravels it. Siskel praised Fargo's blend of suspense, humor, and local color. From the notorious woodchipper scene to the Minnesota nice accents that mask dark deeds. He also lauded McDormand's Oscar-winning performance, calling Marge one of the most original and endearing heroes in years. Fargo was a moderate box office success and garnered 7 Oscar nominations. Beyond the awards, Siskel appreciated the Coen brothers' sharp writing and Roger Deakins' cinematography, which turned barren winter landscapes into something strangely beautiful and menacing. Number 10. Nashville, 1975. Robert Altman's Nashville is a panoramic tapestry of American life and culture in the 1970s, and Gene Siskel absolutely adored it. He named Nashville the best film of 1975, and it's often cited as one of his enduring favorites. With 24 characters and multiple intersecting storylines set against the backdrop of a country music festival and a political campaign in Nashville, Tennessee, the film is ambitious and richly layered. Siskel marveled at Altman's skill in juggling comedy, satire, and poignant drama. "It feels like you've watched a whole nation in microcosm," he said. Highlights include memorable songs performed live by the cast and moments of pure Americana, both absurd and moving. Nashville received 5 Academy Award nominations and won 1. It was also a moderate box office hit for an ensemble film, grossing around $10 million. Siskel hailed Nashville's climactic scene, a show-stopping finale at the Parthenon, as the most astonishing mix of heartbreak and hope he'd seen on screen. Number 9. Hoop Dreams, 1994. This groundbreaking 1994 documentary was so powerful that Gene Siskel not only declared it the best film of that year, he also became one of its most vocal advocates. Hoop Dreams follows 2 Chicago teenagers, William Gates and Arthur Agee, over 5 years as they pursue their dream of becoming professional basketball players. But it's about far more than sports, capturing the boys' struggles with academics, family finances, injuries, and the realities of race and opportunity in America. Siskel was a huge fan of Hoop Dreams, calling it extraordinary and highlighting how it made viewers care deeply about the real lives unfolding on screen. Despite running nearly 3 hours, the documentary has the narrative pull of a great novel, something Siskel noted in his review. "We don't think about the score, we think about what it means to them, not us, if they hit or miss." Hoop Dreams won the Audience Award at Sundance and became one of the most acclaimed documentaries ever. Yet it infamously was snubbed by the Oscars documentary branch. It did receive 1 Oscar nomination for film editing, but many felt that it deserved Best Picture consideration. Number 8. Shawah, 1985. Few films left Gene Siskel as awestruck as Shawah, Claude Lanzmann's monumental 9.5-hour documentary about the Holocaust. Siskel named Shawah the best film of 1985 and later ranked it among the greatest cinematic achievements of all time. Through exhaustive interviews with survivors, witnesses, and even former Nazis, Shawah painstakingly reconstructs the process of genocide, making the past feel devastatingly present. Siskel was deeply moved. He famously stated, "Shawah is the greatest use of film I've ever seen." Such praise was not given lightly. Roger Ebert echoed that sentiment, and both critics urged viewers to experience Shawah despite its length and harrowing content. Siskel and Ebert even devoted special coverage to Shawah on their TV show, breaking their format to discuss its importance. While Shawah was never a commercial film, its impact on documentary filmmaking and Holocaust education is incalculable. Number 7. Goodfellas, 1990. Martin Scorsese's propulsive gangster saga was Gene Siskel's choice for the best film of 1990, and it remains one of the most acclaimed films in modern cinema. Goodfellas is the true crime tale of mob associate Henry Hill and his life in the New York Mafia, a high-energy journey through 25 years of organized crime, told with bravura style. From its legendary Copacabana one-shot entrance to the frenetic Last Day as a Wise Guy sequence, Goodfellas reinvented the gangster genre. Siskel praised the film's relentless pacing, dark humor, and unglamorous honesty. "It's the gangster film to end all gangster films," he said, noting how Scorsese pulls viewers into the mob lifestyle and then stunningly shows its consequences. Joe Pesci's performance as volatile Tommy DeVito particularly impressed Siskel. Pesci won an Oscar for the role. The film garnered 6 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, though it lost that prize in a controversial upset to Dances with Wolves. Number 6, Do the Right Thing, 1989. Spike Lee's vibrant and incendiary look at racial tension in America was Siskel's #1 film of 1989, and has only grown in stature since. Do the Right Thing unfolds on the hottest day of the year in a Brooklyn neighborhood, where small conflicts and prejudices simmer among the diverse residents until they erupt into an unforgettable climax. Siskel championed this film from day one, praising Spike Lee's bold direction and writing. He noted how the film uses warm humor and colorful style to draw us in, with memorable characters like Radio Raheem blasting "Fight the Power" and Mookie delivering pizzas, and then confronts us with hard questions about race, justice, and community. Siskel was also vocal in criticizing the Academy for overlooking Do the Right Thing in the Best Picture category. He and Ebert famously condemned that year's Oscar winner as safe and out of touch by comparison. Do the Right Thing was a modest commercial success and is now preserved in the National Film Registry. Number 5, Dr. Strangelove, 1964. Stanley Kubrick's Cold War satire was, as Gene Siskel himself put it, another all-time favorite of his. Though released before Siskel began his career, Dr. Strangelove was a film he frequently cited as one of the greats. It's a biting black comedy in which a U.S. Air Force general goes insane and launches a nuclear attack on the USSR, setting the stage for a cascade of absurd attempts to avert doomsday. Peter Sellers famously plays 3 different roles, showcasing the kind of sharp wit and daring that Siskel loved. The film received 4 Oscar nominations and has countless iconic moments, from Major Kong riding a bomb like a rodeo cowboy to Strangelove's final line, "Mein Führer, I can walk." Siskel appreciated how Dr. Strangelove turned the gravest of subjects, nuclear annihilation, into scathing humor that made its point with lasting impact. Number 4, Raging Bull, 1980. Often hailed as one of the greatest films ever made, Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull earned Gene Siskel's top spot for 1980 and, in his view, was the pinnacle of 1980s cinema. This unflinching biographical drama stars Robert De Niro as Jake LaMotta, a 1940s middleweight boxing champion whose violent temper and jealousy destroy his relationships. Filmed in stark black and white, Raging Bull is as much about the battle within the man as the bouts in the ring. Siskel praised De Niro's transformative performance. Famously, the actor gained about 60 pounds to play the older LaMotta, as stunning, one of the most committed performances put on film. The boxing scenes are brutal, yet artful, with Scorsese's direction turning each fight into an expression of Jake's inner demons. Raging Bull was nominated for 8 Oscars and won 2. Though it didn't win Best Picture, its reputation has only grown. Siskel often reflected on Raging Bull's craft, from the innovative slow-motion blood spray in the ring to the poignant final scene quoting On the Waterfront. Number 3, Schindler's List, 1993. When Steven Spielberg's Schindler's List was released in 1993, Gene Siskel, like most critics, was overwhelmed by its power. He named it the best film of 1993, and even years later, he spoke of its impact with reverence. The film tells the true story of Oskar Schindler, a German businessman who saved the lives of over 1,000 Polish Jews during the Holocaust by employing them in his factory. Filmed primarily in haunting black and white, Schindler's List is both an unflinching depiction of the Holocaust's horrors and a moving tale of redemption and humanity. Siskel commended Spielberg for handling the subject matter with such depth and respect, saying, "It's a film that leaves you shaken and changed." He also highlighted Ralph Fiennes's chilling performance as the Nazi commandant Amon Goeth and Ben Kingsley's quiet dignity as Schindler's Jewish accountant, Itzhak Stern. The film was a box office success worldwide and went on to win 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. Siskel and Ebert both admitted on air to being in tears by the end of the film. Number 2. The Godfather, 1972, and Succession. Number 1. Saturday Night Fever, 1977. At the very top of Gene Siskel's list sits a film that might surprise some, but anyone who knew Siskel knows why it's here. Saturday Night Fever, yes, the disco movie starring John Travolta, was Gene Siskel's favorite film of all time. This 1977 drama follows Tony Manero, a Brooklyn kid by day, king of the dance floor by night, as he tries to escape his dead-end life through competitive disco dancing. Beyond the iconic Bee Gees soundtrack and flashy dance moves, Saturday Night Fever offered sharp social commentary on class, ethnicity, and ambition in 1970s New York. Siskel recognized this depth when many dismissed the film as a mere fad. He admired Travolta's charismatic layered performance, the vulnerability beneath the bravado, and the film's unflinching look at its characters' struggles. Saturday Night Fever was a cultural sensation, responsible for a worldwide disco craze, and it became one of the highest-grossing R-rated films of its time. It also earned Travolta an Oscar nomination and cemented him as a star. For Siskel, the connection was deeply personal. He famously loved the film so much, he bought the white suit Travolta wears in the finale at a charity auction. He once said the movie makes good movie-making seem easy, praising director John Badham's brisk storytelling and the honesty of the script.